through this for real, so it's real to me. So
what's your love language?
I need affirmation.
And what is that? It or is there another?
That's it right now.
Damn.
That's security and validation.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it.
Security and validation for me.
So do you have love languages?
That I give out or that I want?
That you want. Y'all want me to name them? I can pull them up for y'all.
Gifts too. I realized that.
Gifts.
Yeah, gift. I realized that. I love when people give me things that lets me know that you're thinking about me.
See, I absolutely do not care about gifts or anything like that. I think for me it's also validate my fucking feelings. Mine is, if I tell you how I feel, and you sitting here trying to tell me why I'm wrong and how I feel,
that's what I don't like.
That pisses me off. Like,
but then look though. To flip back to the situation with your son in the game, that's the same thing.
You did to him.
Right. Come on, bring it in, Dr. Bree.
To flip it back.
Dr. Bree. Bring it in, Dr. Bree. Bring it in, Dr. Bree.
That's the same thing,
though. Get me real quick.
Bring it in, Dr. Bree.
But no, now,
I like working with you.
To flip it,
you feel me?
I'll go against what you just said, not go against. But right now, where me and my son are now is. He feels comfortable with.
Yeah, you're talking about then.
He will. Yeah, like
I understand. And that's why when I said this, I was saying it not for you, but for people that may be experiencing it.
Yeah.
Now.
Well,
my response.
I taught myself because when we were kids, we heard that. Why are you being a crybaby? Like, why are you crying about that? That's no reason to cry. And So, but then I realized, like, okay, let me just start allowing him to express himself. So now that he's 17. And he still cries a little bit. I be like, son, like, what's up? Like, why are you? What do you feel like you need to cry about that? And he'll explain it to me. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. We can talk about it later. But right now, I asked you to do something. So let's do it. But he will be like, he will tell me this is how open we are. He will say, Mom, I feel like you're not listening to what I'm saying.
That's good.
And I'd be like, okay.
Because you do need that.
Yeah, okay.
Because you're a strong one to work with. But go ahead.
Anyway.
Anyway. That's what mommy tells somebody. I should tell somebody we know she's strong to work with, but don't make me fuck you up. I said you're lit. So don't repeat
No,
that.
I think it goes back to, though, that I'm getting better because I had to manifest becoming feminine. In a way, because I've always had this masculine energy.
Or becoming authentic.
I've always been authentic. But it's representing that nurturing feminine side of myself.
So that's more authentic. That has nothing to do with masculinity or femininity. It has to do with me being more authentic. I'm embracing more of my true self.
Okay.
So I had to embrace this side because I was brought up.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure to protect me, protect those that I was responsible for. But now that I'm embracing more of my femininity, it's not about the sexuality. It's about the character.
Yeah.
That I've grown. You've evolved since then.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really, it is. It's all about you walked more into your authentic self. But that's a lot of us. Well, a lot of us are, when we grow up, we become what we thought we had to be because how we were conditioned as children.
Yeah.
And then when we walk in our authentic, when we're starting to walk our own journey, we create our own authentic self. Like, wait a minute, that's not who I am at all.
But they try to condition you.
This is who I am. Absolutely.
Yeah, because you know how you got your parents and they're like, oh, you're my oldest daughter, so you're conditioned to make sure you take care of everybody in the family. But why is that?
Right. Why do
I
have
to be that? And then when I'm growing, I feel like now I'm sitting here like, I can't do this. It's not what I want. And now I got this emotion.
You're the oldest.
Right.
So go ahead. It's your stuff.
Maybe. Well, yeah. I don't like that placing responsibility on. That's like me telling my oldest son, "You're the oldest. You're responsible." My oldest act like the youngest.
I was about
so hard to that shit.
But that's the thing, I feel like somebody asked me, are we going? We going now? Yeah. Somebody asked me why I still believe in love and why I still, was that a yarn? That was.
Why would you not?
That was that. It took me off. The little lips was quivering like.
I was like, why would somebody like? Why would you not be?
But someone because like what she just said, because her cold-hearted after going through so many heartbreaks, and it's like
they need to come see me.
the emotion behind a heartbreak is so detrimental to moving forward in life. Like it is, and especially with I feel like a man, their first heartbreak turned them into
Ooh.
it literally follows them throughout their whole life. I feel like
that didn't happen to me.
Well, of course.
That's because
you're a PhD.
Oh wow!
You know,
I didn't have.
Of course.
I feel
Steve,
like
don't laugh at this foolishness.
when they get like men like that, when they get,
I did not have a PhD.
They don't know how to handle that emotion. When the men
Thank
get
you for
that
sending me
feeling,
stars.
that's something they don't know how to take it. That's when they don't know that fear come in, so they don't know how to understand that emotion inside of them when they get that first heartbreak. So they just go cold because they like, I don't know, fear, or I don't know what it is. It's just
I think
something.
it's a lack of self-love. I just think, because I feel like if you love yourself and if you love just unconditionally, I feel like you're going to believe in love. I feel like if you don't love yourself, then you don't trust yourself, and then that kind of skews you trusting anybody else or loving someone else, because it's not that you don't believe in love, you're scared of love at that point, because you've experienced it and it wasn't
Go on,
good.
Dr. Bree.
But that's
been giving some nuggets. All
that's how I feel.
God.
Now,
That's why I
now-
wanted to do this, though, because I feel like I'm always behind the scenes with this. So
Well,
I
now
wanna,
you're in front of the scene.
Yeah.
You know, I wanna,
Listen, I was coming on your this to do a rap one day. Mary had a little lamb.
Please was white as snow.
Oh
They
Lord.
said she was a hoe, but she had to go.
Oh my God.
We should do.
Listen, I'm telling my girls I got skills.
P Valley, we coming up with Mary Had a
Thank
Little
you.
Lamb.
Listen.
Anyway,
A hoe.
but okay, so in the aspect of not turning cold-hearted, do you feel like where you are right now in life with emotions, you are like cold-hearted? You shut off.
That's a good question.
I am shutting.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where right now I do feel like that.
But do you feel like, so let me ask this, so do you feel like that you're cold-hearted, or do you feel like that you're finally focusing on you, which is something you really have never implemented?
You
No,
can
absolutely.
be honest, because if you cold-hearted, that's a
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, be
feel
honest.
like if you feel like right now,
Yeah.
fuck,
And because,
cold-hearted.
and I guess for me, so
I
don't answer
am,
your way.
but at the end of the day, I am. In some way, I think I'm going back and forth with it because like I'm like my goal is to work on myself, but then at the same time, it's like in the midst of it, it's like I'm getting cold-hearted just so I can protect myself, so I can work on myself. Because then I feel like I gotta take some of myself and give it to somebody else is too much, and I lose sight of myself. If that makes sense.
It does. Yeah, it makes sense. And I guess for me, like, so I've never been broken up with, but
of course.
Okay.
when I that's not why I said it, first of all.
That's a
Second,
luxury. That's a luxury.
He does
No.
the breaking up. So
No,
if anybody
so,
wants
like,
to date Dr.
do not,
Dr.
no, that's not
Sanders,
true. No.
Make sure you
Just
know.
come with truth. To come with truth.
that you might get
To
broken
come
up
with truth. I don't leave people that quick.
Or he
Listen,
might turn around
my-
from his work chair and say,
He gonna get
Oh!
you before you get him.
with the nail.
Listen.
"Oh,
See how they do me, Steve? This ain't got it all.
I feel like this
Listen.
is coming to this is coming to." He don't even say I feel like. He said this is coming to an end, and it's all right. It's all right. We will live in our own.
How do you want to get?
We can be
How do you
cordial.
want to get?
We can be cordial.
Yeah, but my mom told us that, like, breakups don't have to be ugly. My mom was like, y'all can still be cool. Like, my mom was like that. I was like, how do you expect him to still love you? My mom was like, I'm trying to hook him up with somebody else. What? Where did they do that at? Like, let mommy tell
like
you.
that.
Said,
Like,
I know
I
it's
was in
hard, but
utter
if you need a
shock.
session, just call me.
Right,
We can
right.
work through
Listen,
it. Like,
but for me, but I guess for me, but we all do this. Before we leave a relationship physically, we have already departed mentally.
That's me.
Facts.
And so
Every
for
time.
me,
Thanks.
I'm just genuine. And so what I don't want to do, and because sometimes, and this has been a mantra of mine for years, sometimes you can be two good people, just not good for each other. You could be awesome, I could be awesome, we're just not awesome for each other. And that's okay.
'Cause you're the
So let's
example
talk,
for
yeah,
somebody
but a
else.
lot of people try to make something work.
That's not supposed
And,
to
and
be.
yeah, and they prolong it, and then hate is built,
Ooh,
anger
that's
is
me.
built,
I believe-
lies
come on, we
is
can
built.
work through
Thank you. This
can
is
work
my
through it,
shit,
baby.
and me,
That'd
I
be
don't,
me.
yes, and for
That'd be
me,
me.
and I think because me being around a healthy marriage, like I see what it takes to work through it, but then when I see like this is really not us, so let's just you don't want to initiate the conversation, so I will. For me, that's better because I don't want you to waste time, and I don't want to waste time. And so for me, that's important. It doesn't mean I don't hurt, because I still may hurt, but I don't hate you. And I will move on.
I feel like that's a strong sense
Very
of like
quickly.
trusting yourself though, and just
Yeah.
being self-aware. I feel like that's really like what that falls
Yes,
on.
and I
type
tell
shit.
and that's why I tell people they'll probably get tired of hearing me talk about my grandparents, but because like my grandparents was honest. Like when I asked them questions, whether my grandfather or my grandmother, they will be honest with me. And I was like, oh, so that's what marriage looks like, or this is what you go through. And so some of those nuggets helped me. And although my biological mother wasn't in my life, so even earlier when you were talking about like breakups and etc., like even like when I used to leave women and somebody say this that y'all know, I would be like, it's okay, we can not be together, but we can still be friends. But because my biological mother, how I used to think, like she didn't raise me. Like I moved with my grandparents in middle school. So for me, it was like if your biological mother doesn't have to be committed, who says that someone else has to be committed? And so for me, that's where breakups became easy. Like, oh, listen.
See, and it was the opposite for me. I would
And
hold
so,
on for dear
yeah,
life
and not
because
for
of
me.
abandonment issues.
That
And not for
part,
me.
that
And even
part.
like my biological mother, she used to come to my grandparents' house. Of course, that was her mom and dad. And I would see her, but we didn't live together. I lived with them. But one thing I thought was, you know what,
So that's
you're
why
not
you know
obligated
still
to me.
close. My
Yeah.
mom, we didn't live together, but I still seen her be around her, but she didn't raise her. Her
Yeah.
grandparents raised her.
Yeah, I wasn't
your
with her.
relationship,
And my brother and sister was. Mommy and Dante was, but I wasn't. I was only with my grandmother and grandfather. And so for that, like whatever she did, like and for a moment I had a moment of anger, but then I was like, I have a great life here. So I'm okay. And so I took that mentality in relationships, but what I had to figure out was I can't do other people that way. Like, although I may be okay with, like, you know, this just ain't working. Let's just move on. And although it may be easy for me, it's not that easy for everybody else.
I be trying to be like that on the surface, but on like the inside, like
I thought that was
it be
on the
real
inside.
ugly.
Y'all
It be
think
real
if somebody
ugly.
could read my mind, they'd be like, oh, she
For
crazy.
me, I was watching the Jeffersons
We all
in order to
crazy,
be
okay?
No, let me tell you, I be
We
saying
all
some,
crazy.
I be
That's
saying
the
some
truth.
stuff in my head. I be like, no, it's okay. We can just go our separate ways. I'm like, you
Oh,
know what? You got
bro.
me messed up. You try to play all this in my head, but then I just be like, walk away.
So why are we afraid to have some of those conversations? Even if we don't express all of ourselves, some of those conversations.
I don't know. One thing I don't like that somebody see that they
For
got
me
something over me.
personally, that too, but also the thought, like, I'm low key really crazy for real. So like, I don't want other people to like.
I don't want to show that part.
Like, I don't want other people to know that. Like,
Yes.
Do not drink it when I'm
That's me,
drinking.
or-
I was
I
not
don't have a
expecting
problem
that.
with showing somebody how fucking crazy I am.
We know.
Try me.
Let me
Try
tell you
me.
something.
Try
I
me.
had a lot of friends. Like let me tell you
Try
something.
me.
I've been in cars where I like had friends that was so crazy around, and I'm like, how can you just do that? Like go and tear up the dude's stuff, pop out the
Yeah, I don't tell people stuff. I ain't that
be at the
crazy.
baby
I
mama's
ain't tell my own
house.
stuff.
You don't
I'm
either,
playing. We
but-
gotta
I ain't
figure
gonna
this
tear
out.
stuff up. I don't like that.
But I'm just saying, it's just so many different anger.
Yeah.
Like, how can they get that? And you got the ones who just shut down anger and they just don't talk. You got the ones who get physical. You got the ones who just tear up things. There's just so many different.
See, I'm none of those.
Shut down. You passively.
Exactly.
It's like I don't even know if that's a word, but I just gave it to you. That's
Yeah.
what you are.
It's
No,
like,
but even like when Brianna talked to me, my oldest, like when Brianna talked to me, she asked me like relationship
Well, hold
advice.
on, because you will tear somebody up when somebody mess with your emotion or mess with somebody close to you,
Oh yeah, don't play with my people.
and you'll put your hands on them
Y'all
real
can
quick.
just sit back. Don't even move. Y'all can just sit back. Don't even
but
move.
with him, he, you know, I just really, I be trying to get him to like really hone in on it's okay to be this person all the time outside, but with your people, I know you going through something. Don't try to always be strong.
Oh yeah, but
Don't
I
try to
will
always be
And so
strong.
now one thing I will do now, this is something, and for me this is wisdom. Something again, Quentin Sanders, my grandfather taught me. Like my inner circle, I'll tell, but outside people, you don't need to know. Like it's
But
hello.
I feel like even still, you real stubborn. So you like I ain't showing these
Well,
that
yeah,
I'm
and
hurting.
a lot of times, and so you're right to a certain degree, because a lot of times when I'm processing the emotion, I don't want to talk about, and because I'm a person that hates redundancy, and my daughters know this. So when I'm processing it, I'm like, I'd rather talk to you when I've processed it, and this is how I feel. Because there's a lot of times a few times I've talked to whether Michelle or Brandy or whatever, and I'd be like, well, this is how I think I feel, and this is how I think, and it gives me a headache. I'm like, my fat ass is on a merry-go-round. Like, this is just too much. So for me, I rather process it like this is exactly how I feel, and then share it with you all, versus taking you all on a roller coaster with me.
Oh, I'm taking
Because
y'all on a
it
roller
gets-
coaster with me, okay?
Me,
Y'all done been on my roller coaster,
Nah,
okay?
I'm
Up and
private.
down, up and down, up and down. I know y'all like, we
And
be off,
that's-
Tony.
but
But
that's-
off.
And
Let
that's
us
that,
off.
but no, but that's diversity, and that's one thing I
Shit.
love about our circle is that we're all diverse. So like for you, I expect that. For me,
private.
you expect like, and you will say it sometimes like, brother, you ain't got to be all have it together, and I don't think I have all together, but like it's like for me, like I want to process this to see what it is before I say it to you, and then tomorrow morning I say I didn't mean none of that shit I said last night.
That's me,
What
because
I
I be saying all
meant,
types of
see,
shit
and
already.
so that's what I don't want to do.
You ugly ass bitch. This
Oh,
man
yeah.
just like,
A
you
few
know I
of
didn't
y'all,
mean
a
that.
few of y'all in the circle will.
You know I did not mean that.
Now,
You
let
are
me tell
beautiful.
you, right.
I did not mean what
I
I
do
said
that.
last.
That's
I'm so sorry.
I'm private. I'm just private anyways. People be like, I didn't know you was going through stuff.
Yeah, and I'm a
I'm
Pisces.
bipolar.
I be taking shit like that to heart. Like, no, I don't care that,
No,
that you're
yeah,
not
yeah.
mad no more. You said that shit
You
when you
said
was
what I
mad.
said.
But that's why, yeah, you said.
You said that shit when you was
this, you
mad.
said that.
So you clearly meant
And
that.
people like her and mommy expect people to move on. Like, you don't call me a raggedy bitch last night. Well, you know I was drinking. I ain't need all that. What? I still feel hurt.
Right, like no, I would never forget. No, like bro, I had an ex. She called me a
My
bum
face
in like
hurt.
2019. I would never forget it. I don't care. I would never forget it to this day because I was like, girl, I'm taking care of you. How the fuck am I a bum? But she was mad. You feel me? And I took it to heart because
And she knew that was gonna make something. She knew that was gonna hurt
it's
your feelings.
2023, and I'm
Still mad about
Sometimes
that.
people say things to hit you below the belt because they know it will make you
Love you
mad.
too, cuz.
And I can get that way. I would say
blessed.
something that would hit you
Her
below
ass
the
is crazy
belt.
for real.
And
It's blessed.
And then the
but
next
sometimes you
day,
gotta be
nah.
careful because words hurt. I keep
Yeah.
telling you, I hate y'all
And that's
saying.
why I watch it. And that's why
Stick with
my mom used to tell one of my exes like, don't mess with Jesse because you know, especially like with gay men, if another male like think he's more masculine, he thinks that he can chop you down, and then they have to understand. No, I'm a wordsmith, so I
I
can
think
make you
women
want to
do
die
that
with
too,
Harriet
though. I
Tubman.
think women are big on
And
that
so,
too.
but my mom used to tell some of my exes, like, leave that fool alone. He's crazy. I'm like, I'm not crazy. It's like, Jesse, when someone comes against you, you go way below the belt. But then I had to see it one night. Like, you know what? I do go low.
I do to make your feelings.
But I don't want to, though. But it's like,
They
you
bring it
forced
out.
me, so I had to beat you in the game.
Yeah.
And
before
now you
say
ready to
something
die
me.
with Harriet Tubman. And now I'm about to come to your funeral like I don't know shit that happened. Like, oh, damn, he had to die this early.
Yeah, I do think females are a lot worse when it comes
Do
to that.
you?
Yeah,
I guess I don't. It's
Yes.
funny how the lesbian and the
They
gay
do,
community
'cause
think
Even
differently.
What
and
girls
straight, because
though?
I'm on.
Yeah.
And bisexual.
Nah.
And heterosexual.
Women will listen, right? They will like nurture you. They will listen. They will make you real comfortable to tell your deepest, darkest like insecurities, all that shit. And it be so loving and nurturing while shit is cool. But the 1 second that shit get flipped, then you
You know all that shit. Bitch, that shit is hard shit. I be
the
telling
one
you nothing else.
moment, bro. I
You
swear
know
to
what? I
God.
don't say nothing. That's why I be so private.
You start looking like
Anybody.
them, you are
I'm
out
not
too at this
sure.
point. Like,
Yeah,
I can't
that's
touch you
dangerous.
No,
either.
because that's how, like she said, they throw it back at
But
you.
it really,
No.
but life is about risk, right? We don't know versus today, tomorrow. We can be
Money.
holding back.
Risk for money.
But we can be holding back from the person
Hey, listen,
that's created
what
for
way you
us.
say don't
but
worry
because
about
of
what's in my
past
cup.
pains,
It's my cup.
we're like, no, I'm not sharing. And so we have to use wisdom in what we share and kind of dig within ourselves. Like, am I ready for this? Am I ready to share this?
Yeah.
That's what's important. And for me, that's why, like I tell my daughters all the time, like, that's why it's important, kind of like what you were talking about earlier, that's why it's important for you to know yourself.
Yeah,
And
self-love
areas
is
that
important. I'm
areas
there.
I am healed in, areas I'm not healed in. And so that will help me navigate through this relationship.
Yeah.
That's imperative. Yeah.
I'm there. I'm there with the self love.
Yeah.
At this
we know
point in
you
life,
are.
I'm just
Mother
like,
Earth.
no. I just got there though. Like, I
What?
really just-
When? Mother
I
Earth.
The self-love aspect, that's why I let people run all over me, because I feel like I was like really just not there where I needed to be there when I needed to be there. So I feel like now it's like, now that I'm there, I'm fully there.
Good, because it's pissed me off. I'm like, why are we still holding
that down? With that pressure.
Why are they still in the group? Why are we still holding them? Like, me and mom be looking at each other. Why are we still holding them?
I'm telling you.
Listen, I used to say, listen, Mother Earth is going to just love everybody through it. He'll love everybody through it. Oh, they're gonna make it. Don't just hold them through it. They're going to make it. But they had a troubling childhood. We all had a troubling childhood.
But I feel like it's like terrible. I feel like that's just like life. I feel like everybody be in your life for a reason, and when it's time for them to, you feel me? Because then it's like if they not supposed to be, it's gonna keep being things until one day you be like, all right, I'm tired of this. Like I'm not about to keep. Yeah,
redundancy doesn't have to happen.
Yeah. He's quick on. I'm not giving you more than 2 tries. 2 tries. After the second try, and I done told you.
But I feel like that's where he's at with his healing journey. Like for some people, it takes, like last year, I probably dated 3, 4 maybe females. Damn. Like, listen.
Well, you are popular though.
I'm a lover
you are
girl,
in the scene.
bro. Like I'm a lover girl. Like,
you are in the scene.
Well, I'm the Lori Harvey of the gay community, so I must have dated all these hoes. Okay?
I'm the Steve. If she Lori, I want to be Steve.
Listen,
I'm gonna just go on the record
I
saying
must
that
have
right
dated
now.
everybody.
I want to be Steve.
So.
And we know that's not the truth.
I'm Lori Harvey.
That's not the truth at all.
But I feel like I don't understand what the whole stigma is of you dating multiple people or dating so many. Right, I can date whoever.
I feel like people, if they want to date however many, I feel like let them.
And for me,
they let them.
Yeah, no, I'm
dating. People, they're not like I'm marrying each person. Right. It's not.
For
that wear boxes over their period panties.
But first of all, so look, y'all never even let me finish the logic behind this though, because look, I'm about to make it make sense. I'm about to make it make sense though, right?
Go ahead.
Because look, I wear only men's. Anyway, I wear only men's.
We be sweaty down there.
Y'all listen to the preaching?